Hey everybody, so I know it has been a long time since I've done a video. I think the last video that I did, and I should have watched it before I started this one, was on my practicum where I did a telebehavioral therapy, which was called BCTC for my school. Essentially, all that was just being like a teacher's assistant. It was more so just having live discussions with different people at different points in the program for the school that I go to. And then there was some individual therapy where I had, a couple people where I was helping them practice their therapeutic skill sets. And then another client where I was just basically helping her with her levels of anxiety transitioning from the career that she once did into the therapy world. So, do I feel like I got real world experience during my practicum? No. Unfortunately, I was not able to find a site in time for me to actually, go out there into the real world and work with everyday clients. But luckily for me, I was able to find some place to do my interning, and that's what I've been doing, and it's been exactly a month. Let me just start with this. The process of actually finding an internship site was super hard. So I cannot stress this enough, and I've said it before. Make sure that you go to a school that actually has contracts in place. So then that way you don't have the struggle bus that I had, trying to reach out to all of these different therapists and different behavioral health centers and clinics. And a lot of times these places are horrible at returning phone calls and emails. I mean, I was even so desperate, I was hitting people up through Psychology Today and through LinkedIn. Um, when I first applied to this school, I interviewed and I was told by the person that does the clinical coordinations that, oh, yeah, I'm the person that gets you all set up at your site. Well, that was just a bold faced lie because I had to do all the legwork myself. Now, if your school does have sites set up and you don't want to go to the sites that they have, well, then that's a different story. But my school didn't have any contracts whatsoever, and a lot of these sites will not contact you back unless you are a clinical coordinator with the school. Like they very seldomly want a student to contact them, because it doesn't look right. It's not a polished and professional stance to start out with because most people are going to be like, okay, well, what school do you go to? Why isn't your clinical coordinator contacting us? So, what I had to do was just reach out to these people and then CC the clinical coordinator on it and pretty much hound the clinical coordinator to the point that, like, she doesn't like me and I don't really care because, like, at the end of the day, it's about me making sure that I finalize my education and making sure that I'm getting the experience that I need and that I desire in order to make sure that I'm a great therapist. So, like I've said in plenty of my other videos, like, you gotta pay to play, and I pay high ass tuition, and you better bet your bottom dollar that I'm gonna make people work for their paychecks. You're not just gonna sit back and not work for what you're being paid for with this high ass tuition. Like, it's not gonna happen. Um, anyways, on to my internship. So the first like couple weeks, and like I said, it's only been a month so far, has been quite interesting. I've done a lot of training. So I am their trauma therapist, and it is a lot. I had to get trained in it's called ACT training, and basically it's a trauma training that is 30 hours long. And then you have to do like role plays at the end with one of the advocates that's with the company, and then you get your little certificate that you've been trained in trauma therapy. So, but anyways, it has been quite interesting. I remember speaking with my supervisor on our first meeting, and I said the biggest thing that I know I'm going to have an issue with is the um, the paperwork, because I know when I was in practicum and I would hear other students that were actually at sites in practicum, or students that were past me in the program, and they were talking about, oh yeah, it's a lot of paperwork, like the paperwork that you have to get in. The center that I'm at, you only have basically 24 hours to get your paperwork in. Some centers have 72 hours. It really just depends on where you're at. But it's more important to make sure that you get all of your information in for the billing, especially as a provider. You guys also want to make sure that you are, and your school should be making sure of this, but you want to make sure that you're also insured, that you cover liability insurance. You can get that through the ACA website. For a student for a year, it's $99. The center that I'm at, not only do I carry my own insurance, but they also insure me as well, which is really great. And they supply me with a stipend, which was, it's a non-paid internship, but even getting a little bit of money for a stipend is, listen, I ain't complaining. I mean, it's a little bit of money, but anything helps as a student, because as many of you know that have been watching my channel, and it's been quite the ride, that I've been working full time this entire time. So just last month, I went down to part time. Now, listen, my bills didn't go down to part time, so I'm not even gonna play, because some people are like, oh, I just went down to part time and I'm just doing it. No, a lot of times you have to adjust. So what I had to do is do the Grad Plus loan. No, do we really want to take out more loans? Are you kidding me? Hell fucking no. I don't want to take out more loans, but in order for me to finalize this degree, make sure that I'm still getting my 1,000 hours. Now, if you live in Florida, you do need 1,000 hours of direct, or not direct, you need a total of 1,000 hours that could come from your practicum, internship, including supervision, and I think it includes like conferences or something like that. I don't know. But look it up for whatever state that you're in, because not every state has the same thing. Florida, unfortunately, has the most hours. I think on average, other states have between 5 and like 650 hours, something like that. So, if you live in Florida, sorry about your luck. We're in the same pool. You'll be doing your interning for at least, 10 plus months, almost a year, depending on how many hours you gain during the week. For me, since I went down part-time at work, I'm, doing my interning from 1:30 until 7 o'clock at night at the center, and in the morning, I don't know why I just did this backwards, but anyways, in the morning, at work, I work 7 to 1. So it's a lot. I'm not really happy about where I work, especially with the transition into this field. Like, I'm getting a lot of heavy hitting stuff, and I'll go into that into another video, because it's just way too much to cram into this one. But the thing of it is like the amount of things that people have gone through in their life, it makes you reevaluate the petty stuff. Like, a lot of the people that I work with, like at my day job, are super petty. And so for me, it's just not a really healthy environment. It's very toxic. And what you'll learn is when you get into the field, you'll start to compartmentalize what's important to you, because it's a lot of stress, and you have to set those boundaries. Like, I know through your educational system, if you are currently going to school to be a therapist, or even if you're considering it, the biggest thing that your program will stress to you, if it's a good program, is that you want to make sure that you are doing self-care. So self-care is super important. Setting boundaries is super important. And you just want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. So that's my video right now. I will give you guys another update video about what's exactly happening at my internship site, but I just want to let you know that I am there and I'm at the finish line. Bye guys.